I see Philly Charters in the house. I hear Philly Charters in the house. Good afternoon, everybody. After a long day, I thank you all for taking the time to spend it with us. We are here as Philadelphia Charters of Excellence, PCE. I am Amy Hollister, the president. I'm also an active CEO at a charter school in Philadelphia. For those of you who don't know it, we represent 1/3 of all public school students in Philadelphia, over 70,000 students. Behind me today, we are from all corners of the city. We represent about 25 charter schools here today, 8 bus loads full, 400 lunches. And there are, the 10 that are left can go home with me on the bus. So a few weeks ago, I had the honor of meeting Speaker Turzai, who's off here, this handsome gentleman over here. He came down. So he made his way down to Philadelphia a few weeks ago to meet with some of us to celebrate some of our successes together, most importantly in the matters of school choice. So this gentleman right here believes in school choice. My school, my choice.
My school, my choice.
My school, my choice.
My school, my choice.
So when the speaker came down, we looked at him and we said, Speaker, what is it that you need from us? He said, I need you in Harrisburg. I need you to tell the stories. So today, 250 of us made our way up to here. We spread out in very strategic teams to make our way to 60 legislators' offices. We demanded to be seen, we demanded to be heard, and most importantly, to tell the stories. So if you were a 5-year-old who stood up today and said that your school was clean and safe and you love Kindness Club, or if you were the senior who talked about how this is going to take you all the way through, and thank you for helping me with my FAFSA forms. We are all here and everybody in between, and we heard those stories today. And the legislators heard those stories, and what they know is there are myths out there that we need to dispel. There are myths about charter schools out there that we came up here today to tell that we are public schools. We also came up here to tell the governor that we think his proposal stinks. We came up here and we said, you want to cut 35% of our special ed funds from education? Well, come at me, because that's 10 of my teachers. That's 10 of my teachers, and you're not taking them. They belong here. We also said, hey, way too many. I think it's 102 pages of legislative red tape. We need to be innovative, and we need time to do that. We'll be accountable more than we already are. We'll stand up, we'll be there, but don't add, all that extra stuff, because I'm busy. All these folks are busy, so don't give it to us. Leave it for Harrisburg to work through, right? Leave it, right? So listen, we are Philly, and we are here, my school, my choice. I have a parent, wait till you hear this story, right? Behind her, I have Samaj, he's standing right behind me. He's putting this on his resume because he's going far. So And I just stand here, and so Speaker, and we are going to be able to introduce a lot of the legislators who are standing with us, not only our Philadelphia allies that stand here united with us, but we have a whole list of folks across the whole Commonwealth that stand here today because they support us, and we are delighted that you are all here. So with that, I am going to just give a whole thank you, Speaker. Everyone, thank you, Speaker. Yeah, okay, thank you, Speaker. Thank you for representing choice, because we all made the choice to be here. Marquita Ross, you are a fabulous mother of an 8th grader at Cleveland, which is a mastery school in Philadelphia, and we'd love to hear from you. And she's going to borrow my glasses.
I got some.
We got it.
I got some glasses. All right, y'all. My charter, my choice. All right. Let me tell y'all, I am so tired, but we got to do what we got to do, right? To make our voices heard. For those that don't know me, my name is Marquita Ross, and I am the mother of 7 beautiful children. My youngest son, Jarrell, is in the 8th grade. He attends Mastery Charter, Cleveland, located in Philadelphia. And he attended Mastery Charter from the 3rd grade up until now. This is his last year. And Jarrell was attending a local district school, I will not say any names, in North Philadelphia. Sadly, I was not pleased with the atmosphere of the school, and it was very unstable and unconducive for him to learn. There were many different principals. How many of y'all understand that? Many different principals and substitute teachers, and that was, it seemed like all of the time that's what was happening. And my son, I started to see my son suffering, okay? And Jarrell was lost, and he was beginning to fall behind. I felt trapped, and I felt like there was no options. I didn't have the funds to send him to private school, so I didn't know what else to do. So when Mastery Charter School took over the management of the neighborhood school, which was Cleveland at the time, I was so happy. Before the Mastery turnaround, Cleveland was one of the lowest performing schools in all of Philadelphia. Now Mastery Cleveland is one of the best elementary schools in North Philadelphia, and my son's grade, yes, give it up. And my son's grades and his self-esteem displays that success. So I am here today because having access to the high-quality public schools like Mastery has and still is changing the course of my son's life. He is so excited, y'all. He wants to get up and go to school, okay? He don't want to stay home. He want to get up and go to school. That's the motivation right there. So sending my son to Mastery Charter has been the best decision that I have ever made, and choosing a good quality school for my son to learn and grow. And I'm not alone, right? I'm not alone, y'all, right? There are 70,000 Philadelphia families, just like mine, that are here today that made that same decision. Why? Because we are tired of failing schools where our children are being left behind. We want our children to have hope for a brighter future, and we want choice of a quality school. Mastery, just like every other charter school, serves all children, and that includes students with special needs. In fact, they serve more than the district. So when we heard that Governor Wolf is proposing a 35% cut in special education funding just for special ed charter students, we said, we ain't standing for that. We ain't standing for that. A 35% cut. We have over 200 children with special needs just at my school alone. We would lose close to 2 million. That's like 17 teachers, y'all. That's like 17 teachers. We're here today, okay? 30 family strong, 300 family strong. Just want to make sure y'all paying attention. To ask our state senator and representatives who we elected to represent us. We are asking you all to take a stand to push back against the governor's proposal that will be devastating to our families. As I have stated before to Governor Wolf, if your goal is to do everything that you can to improve all public schools, charter and district, and ensure that every child has a great school to choose, then we are with you. But, Governor Wolf, if your goal is to attack charter schools, to cut special education services to our most vulnerable children and to spread misinformation about the success of charter schools, then guess what we're going to do? Push back.
We'll take a little pushback. How about that for Marquita Ross? Woo! Yeah. All right. So when we come from the parent space, we move down to who this is really all about, and we bring on the student space. Samaj Shell, I met him this morning. I didn't know that he was the speaker that was going to be joining me this afternoon, and I spent about a half hour with him before I realized it. And I said, man, you're impressive. And he said, let's do this. Samaj Shell.
All day, wait, there we go. All day I've been asked the question, what has attending a charter school for the past 7 years of your life done for you? Well, let me tell you. Attending Freire Charter Middle and then high school has given me the ability to pick my life back up, even when I was at my lowest point. In 2012, I had brain surgery, which caused me to forget almost everything that I knew: how to walk, how to talk, how to read, how to write. I couldn't even start middle school until the second report period. But Freire Charter School helped me out with that. For the entire first report period, they sent in one of the representatives to homeschool me during that entire time and support me throughout this entire journey. This woman came by almost every day. We worked on memorization, reading, and math. Every day she was with me until I was ready to start school. I felt rejuvenated because I was receiving help to get my life back together. Freire Charter School believed in me enough to cheer me on from afar while simultaneously running beside me in this long race called life. Attending charter schools have made me the outspoken man that I am today. During my years at Freire, I participated in clubs like debate, poetry, theater. Combined with Freire Charter School's mission to empower student voice, each of these clubs had given me the chance to make my voice sound like a concert opera singer, even when all I can do is whisper. From middle school until now, I went from a silent to a timid kid to an outspoken advocate. This is why I jumped on the opportunity to join all of you here today. And anyone who even tries to take this voice away from all of us, not just from me, but from us, will only make us stronger and louder than I ever before. They will hear our shouts on our way to the ballot boxes. We are young, we are free, and together our voices will be heard.
Thank you, Samaj, for that beautiful story. You are young and you are free and you will be heard. With that, I would like to introduce Speaker Turzai, who is a huge proponent of choice, and he is going to take it away. Thank you, sir.
Amy, you are a dynamo. Oh my God, you are a leader. She is the CEO of Northwood Academy Charter School, and additionally, the president of the Philadelphia Charter for Excellence. To this entire team, thank you so much for making the trip today to the Capitol. Boy, what a group. And if I might say, I've heard two students speak today, two students. We just heard Samaj, and then earlier we heard Ashaya. Is she here? Where's Ashaya? Is she up there, Ashaya? Oh, she's way at the top. And Sharita from Mastery works at Mastery now, but was on their board. We heard from her earlier today in our caucus. Just dynamos, really dynamos. And here's what I want to say. First of all of us in our lives, all of us, each one of us, my grandparents were immigrants to this country. And they had to come over here and they got a job and they wanted to do the best for themselves. My mom and dad, my dad was a public school teacher. My mom went back to work when unemployment out my way in the West was 26% in Beaver County and almost 20% in Allegheny County. And she went back to the Bureau of Unemployment Compensation to try to get people jobs. Each and every one of you wants the best for these young kids. You want the very best that you can for these young kids. You want to know that they have the opportunity in the United States of America to be whatever they want to be, including the governor of Pennsylvania or the president of the United States. Every one of them. They can be a great scientist, they can be a great business person, they could be a great educator, they could be a great social worker, but they all should have the opportunity to be whatever they want to be in the United States of America. And your charter schools are allowing that to happen. That's what's happening. You are bringing self-esteem, you are bringing structure, you're bringing love, you're bringing discipline, you're bringing care. You're doing it. I've been down to so many of the schools in Philadelphia, and they're amazing. Amazing. Every single one that I've been to has been amazing. Noah's here, the CEO of Boys Latin School. Noah, please raise your hand. That man's leading. That man's on the front line. Scott Gordon, where are you from Mastery? Scott, what you're doing with all those kids at Mastery. Thank you, buddy, all the way up top. You know, just a few years back, it's been 5 years. Where's Mark Gleason? Mark, where are you? Mark, we did, and I gotta talk about my friend. She's on, I'm gonna see her on Thursday. She's getting an award. Philadelphia Councilwoman, formerly State House member, one of my best friends, Sherelle Parker. I love Sherelle. She was advocating for a new tax for the Philadelphia public schools. And you know what we did? We said, Sherelle, we can get there. I was majority leader at the time. But we need to have a provision that says there can be a formal application process, a formal appeal process, so charter schools can have a better footing in the city of Philadelphia. Mark, since we did that and that became law, how many more kids in charter schools? 13,500 more seats in Philadelphia charter schools. And I think, Amy, tell me if I'm wrong, I think there's still a 30,000 waiting list on the... Bigger than that, right, Amy? Amy, you're on the front line, I'm not. So we've got 143,000 in charters across the state, about 70,000 in the city of Philadelphia, and we want to make sure that nobody constrains or restricts these brick and mortar charter schools. In fact, we want to see them expand, bigger, more opportunity. Now, amongst the others that we have here, and I'm going to be introducing two of them, including one of your heroes, Tony Williams. I'm going to introduce Tony in a second, Senator Williams, who used to be in the House some time ago, I think. We have Representative Martina White, Representative Valerie Gatos, Representative Mike Grease, who's an author of a charter package, Representative Tim O'Neill, Representative Hershey, Representative Gillespie, Representative Allett, Representative Rowe, Representative Kale. Wow. Representative Lawrence is going to come up and speak after Senator Williams. Here's the last thing I want to say. Am I missing somebody? Tell me, what's your name? How do you? Hey, Colleen, you want to say something? Come here. Come right here and say something before I bring up Senator Williams. Say something. Tell me where you go to school, though.
Franklin Douglas School.
Woo! How old are you?
7.
7. Is that what grade?
Second.
Second. Whoa. Tell me, who's your friend? Bring your friend up.
You really
Let her say her name.
know this?
Come on
My
up.
sister?
Is that your sister?
Friend.
No, this is Aaliyah.
Aaliyah, come on, Aaliyah. Say your name.
I don't
here.
know her.
Oh, I do. Well, you ought to get to become friends.
My name is Aaliyah.
Hey, Aaliyah.
Oh, that's Aaliyah. And she loves her school, too.
Does she? Hey.
Thank you, guys. We love you guys.
Okay, so right now, I'm going to invite Senator Tony Williams, Pennsylvania Senate, they're on that side. House, we're on this side. And we like to be working on both sides of the Capitol. Always works better if we get get together and work together. Senator Tony Williams, then I'm going to have Representative John Lawrence for a few words and Representative Mike Reese for a few words. Senator Williams, you are on.
So before I start, I want to introduce my colleague, Art Hayward, who's also with me today. Now, you all are going to have to clap a lot louder than that for Art Hayward. So we are actually on the Senate floor. For those who don't know me, my name is Anthony Hardy Williams. I represent the 8th Senatorial District, which is Philadelphia and Delaware County. But most importantly, I've been involved in choice for my entire 30 years of existence in this House and the Senate. And I want to tell you why you need to be here today. And by the way, this is a wonderful crowd, but we need to pack this Capitol. I'm not here today to be polite. I'm not here today to make you feel good. I'm going to tell you point blank, we are under attack. And it's not just the governor. I want you to be very clear, it's not just the governor. That school board in Philadelphia. That school board in Philadelphia, which says it's pro-public education, is attacking a public school, which is a charter school. And by the way, I want you to know something. I know y'all like certain politicians in your area, you'll give them all the glory. You need to take a roll call who supports choice and charters. You need to stop supporting people who come to the ribbon cutting and then cut the funding. Let's make it plain here, as they say. Public schools in Philadelphia, the only one that creams are Mastery, Central, every magnet school, every special admission school. Those are the schools that, by the way, are disproportionately of a middle income and are white. Our neighborhood schools are of a modest income and are black. The charter schools are populated with people who are struggling to get out of poverty because they want to educate their children. And so what they decided to do was cut that off and send them back to that crappy school that they've been sending them to for 40 years and keep talking about funding. I want you all to be as mad as I am. There's some of these people that are sitting in the Senate and sitting in the House. They didn't even see you all today. You all traveled 2.5 hours to see the people you all sent to Harrisburg to do your business, and they were too busy to see you. Some of you took off work, didn't even get paid today, so that you could protect not just your children, someone else's children, and they're too busy to see you. They're going to do a budget this year, and they're going to cut your funding. They're too busy to see you. Well, I say let's get busy. Let's get real busy. You need to not just knock on their door. I want to see Representative such and such. I want to see Senator such and such. You need to kick in the door and say, if they don't show up in the next 10 minutes, they're going to have a problem with me in election day. And I don't care. Let me be very clear. Some of y'all like these, y'all have friends who've been in elective office for 900 years. I know that. Okay, and you get very uncomfortable when I call them out, so I won't call them out today. But you know who I'm talking about. Let me be very clear. Let me be very clear. I have 2 daughters who are now adults, I have a grandson. There's nothing that's going to separate me between what's best for them and what's best for my political friend. If my political friend can't figure out that I deserve to have a good school in my neighborhood, which happens to be a charter school, then they can't be my political friend anymore. They just need to be my retired friend who meets me at the school. I want you to understand this is a privilege to send our children to these schools, and those people, some of our friends, are going to sneak off at budget time and talk to those organized entities which are called teachers' unions. Yeah, I said the word. Uh-oh, ooh, I said it out now. Ooh, the boogeyman's coming to get me. I want y'all to know something. I don't worry a hoot about them because I got y'all. I got Boys Latin in my district. I got Mastery in my district. I got Global in my district. I got Parents in my district. Now, what we need to do is make sure that some of those parents who frankly didn't show up, think that the school's going to end up open forever, need to understand you need to be scared. You need to be angry. And you know, most importantly, you need to vote. You need to make sure people know that you're going to vote, and you're going to vote on this one issue. My charter school either opens and prospers, or you're going to kill it. If you decide that you're not with us, you're against us. I'm excited to see the blue shirts out here. There may be 300, 400. The next time we come back here, I need to see 1,000. I need to see 2,000 back in our, when they have their district, when the school board meets, we need to have 2,000 parents at the school district explaining to them, we pay taxes and you need to represent us. We need to get busy.
All right. Oh my gosh, it's hard to follow Senator Williams. It's hard. Representative Lawrence. John Lawrence is from the suburbs of Philadelphia, Chester and Lancaster counties, and yet I'm going to tell you, he's one of the biggest proponents of charter schools. He is a huge proponent of charter schools, and I'm calling up my friend, Representative John Lawrence. God bless you, buddy. Come on up.
Mr. Speaker, I felt like I was at a Baptist revival. Amen? Amen. So, I'm blessed to represent 3 amazing school districts in Chester and Lancaster County. So what am I doing here talking today? These are districts that regularly achieve statewide, national recognition. I have homeschooling parents, Catholic schools, Christian schools, and the Avongrove Charter School. Now let me tell you about the Avongrove Charter School. They get 75 cents on the dollar in funding. They have 2 70-year-old buildings. And they have a waiting list for every grade, K through 12. They don't have the flashiest facilities. They don't have a state championship football team. But parents see something there and they say, that's what I want for my child. Right. Now, parents are looking for options. Who knows a child's needs better than parents? All of us who are here today are interested in one thing: children getting a great education. Now, we've heard from parents, we've heard from students from Philadelphia, and when we hear that tens of thousands of children in Philadelphia are on a waiting list for a charter school, when a lottery determines who gets in and who stays out, parents are desperate for options. Who are we to stand in the way of parents who want a choice to choose a public charter school for their child? I call on my colleagues from both sides of the aisle. Let's hear the voices of these parents. Let's hear the voices of these students who have taken the time to come all the way here to the Capitol today. Thank you very much, and thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Hey, Representative Mike Reese has led a package of bills out of the House. They're over in the Senate on charter schools. Mike Reese is from Westmoreland County. His district is mostly rural, has some towns in it, but he has become a passionate supporter of charter schools and school choice. He recognizes that there are traditional public schools that do a great job too, like many in his district. But he's for every parent, grandparent, guardian to be able to do the best by his or her child. Representative Reese.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. So I want to welcome all of you to your state capitol. This is your state capital, right? Yes, absolutely. You know, when it comes to school choice, Pennsylvania has been an innovator in education for decades. We have tried to continue to recognize the importance of families having options when they consider educational venues. And it's in that spirit that 20 years ago, we adopted the current charter school laws. The premise of charter education is to take a new approach, to use methods and strategies in classrooms that were not being used before. Your schools employ those strategies, and by doing that, you are making public education better in Pennsylvania. Do me a favor, any teacher here, raise your hand. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your service. But like many of our laws, we now recognize that our Pennsylvania current charter school law is outdated. It needs changed. It needs updated. So we're working with our friends and our colleagues in the Senate to create a legislative product that will improve our charter schools and ultimately secure school choice into the future. Yes. Our to-do list is pretty large, but it's important. Our improvements will include expediting the process when students transfer to different schools and allowing for greater choice. Yes. Making the charter admission enrollment procedures easier for parents to understand. Finally, expanding the dual enrollment program and opportunity to charter school students. And I think really important given our environment today in Harrisburg, eliminating the fee-for-service model imposed by the Department of Education when school districts and charter schools don't agree. Hey, look, this piece of legislation is a winner for taxpayers. It is. Make no mistake about it. And most importantly, it's a winner for our students of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Thank you for coming out today.
We will be back. Philadelphia charters will remain in the House. Thank you to all of our Philadelphia delegates who are here today standing behind us. It's lovely to have the Commonwealth of Legislative Ally support. We're delighted. So thank you on both sides here. Thank you to everybody standing behind me. I am so proud of you. Our school, our choice. Our school, our choice. Thank you, everybody. Let's go home.